Okay, so in the last lesson, we looked at the way of generating JSON for our responses. In this lesson, I want to take this a step further. And so let's actually use the package that is provided by JSON by Go. It allows us to use JSON. Okay, so that package is encoding /JSON. Okay, great. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Okay, we're gonna leave this here. Let's get rid of that. Okay, we definitely need to have the content type. All right, so what I'm gonna do, okay, I will create a map. Okay, so I will create a map to hold our health check data. Okay. All right, and then we'll turn that map into a JSON object. So data, okay, will be a map, and so of course with JSON, the key is a string, and the value could be one of many things. In our case, the value will also be string. Of course, it could be bool, it could be number, it could be a it could be a struct. In other words, an object. But for now, this is simple: key string, value string. The other mappings, we'll discuss that when we need to. Okay, so we have status. All right, and then of course we have available. All right, that's the first entry into the map. The second entry will be environment. And the value for that key will simply be app.config.env. Okay, and our third entry will be version, which we know will come from the version variable. Okay, great. So we have our map. And so what we can do now is to tell Go to convert this map into a JSON object. Okay, so let's convert our map into a JSON object. Okay. Okay, and to do that, we're going to use the Marshal function. Okay, so the Marshal function. So JSON dot Marshal, and what is the signature? It takes any Go type, okay, any valid Go type, and it returns a byte slice and an error. Okay, great. So data is a map, which is a valid Go type. So we're going to pass in data, and it's going to return the byte slice. Okay, and it's going to return an error message. So obviously, by now you should know we need to check for error messages. So let's do that. So if error not nil, then we will go ahead and we will say app.logger.print line. Okay, and we're going to have a message. Well, we'll print the error. Okay. And after we've printed the error, then we're going to have a helpful error message. Okay, and we're going to pass in W. We need to pass in the error string. So the error string is the server encountered. Of course, you could change this to whatever you want, as long as it's a meaningful message that the user can understand. So the server encountered a problem, and um, by user I mean whoever is reading the server messages, the server logs. So the server encountered a problem and could not process your request. Okay. All right. So let's say that the error message will be, the code will be HTTP that status internal server error, right? And we've used this one many times before. Okay. So, and of course, we cannot leave unless we return. Okay. Great. So, assuming that there are no error messages and our JSON that Marshal function worked properly, then we can actually go ahead and we can specify our header. Okay. And after we specify our header, so we add our header. Okay. And then the next thing we have to do is to actually write out the byte slice. So we're gonna write the byte slice. Okay. Containing the JSON response body. Okay, don't forget it's a byte slice. And so to do that, we're going to say double dot write. Okay, remember, write takes a byte slice, and we so happen to have a byte slice JS. Okay, so let's save this and let's see if it still works and we get our JSON response. Okay, so let's open another terminal. Okay, and let's check. Okay, again, we'll need to put a new line somewhere here, but it still works. Okay, so let me come to the web browser, let me refresh, and it still works. So everything works. So let's fix this problem of this new line. I'd prefer that I would prefer that the prompt for the terminal come down here. Okay, we don't want it to be on one line. Okay, so that's not difficult. I know I have a byte slice, and so all I have to do with the byte slice is to add a new line to the byte slice. Okay, so I'll just append the new line. Okay, so I'm gonna add a new line to make viewing on the terminal easier. Okay, so since I know JS is a byte slice, I'm just going to say JS is equal to append, and I'm going to append the new line character. Okay, and so that will be printed. So let's try that. Okay, let's come to here, Control L, and let's give it a try. Okay, great. So we are now back on the terminal where it should be. And notice we have a new line inserted. And it still works here. All right. So we are good. Okay, so this seems like a good point to make a commit. So let me go ahead and make a commit. Okay, so git add, so git commit message, our health check endpoint returns its response in the JSON format. Okay, our health checkpoint now returns its response in the JSON format. Okay, that's good. And let me just push that. So git push origin min. Great. All right, so we can verify those changes. Okay, we look at health check, and of course we have that change there. Okay, so that's it. In the next lesson, we want to come back to the same feature, and we want to do a bit of refactoring, so that instead of having the handler deal with converting its response to JSON, we could just have a function or method do that for us. So that's what we'll do next. I'll see you in that next lesson.